Imagine you've been planning your dream cruise vacation for months. Your bags are packed, you arrive at the port full of excitement, and in just a short time you will be boarding one of the biggest cruise ships in the world. You're thinking about the ocean views, luxury food, and the amazing destinations waiting ahead. But suddenly something unexpected happens. Security officers stop a passenger during the boarding process. Within minutes police arrive, luggage is searched, and instead of starting a relaxing vacation, that passenger ends up being arrested right at the port. It sounds unbelievable, but this actually happened when passengers were preparing to board the massive cruise ship Symphony of the Seas at the busy cruise terminal PortMiami. One mistake completely destroyed a dream vacation and turned it into a serious legal problem. And if you're planning a cruise in 2026, this is a mistake you definitely want to avoid. Welcome to Cruise Reveal Zona, the place where we uncover real cruise news, shocking cruise incidents, and the important tips every cruise traveler should know before stepping on a ship. If you love cruise stories and you want to stay updated with the latest cruise news from around the world, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Cruise Reveal Zona, because here we regularly share cruise secrets, travel warnings, and the real stories that many travelers never hear about. Now let's look at what actually happened. Before any passenger can board a cruise ship, security at cruise terminals is extremely strict, almost like airport security. Every bag goes through scanners, and the trained detection dogs check for illegal items. On this particular day, while passengers were going through routine checks at PortMiami, security dogs suddenly alerted officers to suspicious luggage. Authorities immediately searched the bags and discovered illegal substances inside. Within moments, law enforcement officers stepped in and multiple passengers were arrested before they could even board Symphony of the Seas. Instead of sailing across the ocean, their cruise vacation ended before it even began. In this video, we're going to reveal exactly what happened, why this mistake led to arrests, and what every cruise traveler must know before planning a cruise in 2026. Welcome back to Cruise Reveal Zona, the channel where we reveal real cruise incidents, cruise news, and the important information every traveler should know before boarding a cruise ship. If you enjoy cruise stories and you want to stay updated with the latest cruise news around the world, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Cruise Reveal Zona so you don't miss out upcoming cruise reveals. Today we're discussing a shocking cruise incident that turned what should have been a dream vacation into a serious legal situation before the cruise even began. The incident happened at PortMiami, which is one of the largest and the busiest cruise ports in the world. Every year millions of travelers pass through this port to begin cruise vacations to destinations across the Caribbean and the other parts of the world. On the day of the incident, hundreds of excited passengers were arriving at the cruise terminal with their luggage. Families, couples, and groups of friends were preparing to board the giant cruise ship Symphony of the Seas. For many people, the moment of boarding the ship is the most exciting part of the entire cruise experience. Travelers often spend months planning their trip, saving money, and imagining the luxury experience waiting for them on board. However, something unexpected happened during the boarding process that quickly changed the atmosphere at the terminal. What happened during security screening before passengers can board a cruise ship? They must pass through strict security checks at the cruise terminal. Many travelers assume cruise security is relaxed compared to airports, but in reality cruise ports operate with very strict screening systems. Every bag that passengers bring with them must pass through scanning machines, and the security officers monitor the entire process carefully. At PortMiami, security teams also use specially trained detection dogs. These dogs are trained to identify the scent of illegal substances or dangerous materials that might be hidden inside luggage. They are extremely effective and are commonly used in airports and the international ports around the world. During the routine security checks on the day, one of the detection dogs suddenly alerted its handler to several pieces of luggage. When a trained detection dog signals something unusual, it means the dog has detected a scent that requires further investigation. Security officers immediately took the alert seriously. and any illegal activity discovered during the boarding process must be reported immediately. As soon as the drugs were discovered, authorities contacted law enforcement officers at the port. Police quickly arrived at the terminal to investigate the situation further. Passengers connected to the luggage were identified and questioned by officers. For other travelers waiting to board the ship, the situation was surprising and unexpected. What had been a normal boarding process suddenly turned into a law enforcement investigation. Right in the middle of the cruise terminal, instead of boarding the cruise ship and beginning their vacation, the passengers involved were detained by police officers. Eventually, authorities placed the passengers under arrest at PortMiami. Their cruise journey ended before it even began, while the rest of the passengers continued boarding the massive cruise ship Symphony of the Seas for their vacation at sea. Why cruise port security is extremely strict. Incidents like this highlight how strict cruise port security really is. Cruise ships carry thousands of passengers and crew members at a time, and because of this, safety and security are taken very seriously by cruise companies and port authorities. Large cruise ships such as Symphony of the Seas can carry more than 9,000 passengers along with thousands of crew members. With so many people on board, even a small security risk can potentially affect everyone on the ship. Because of this, cruise ports have multiple layers of security designed to prevent illegal or dangerous items from being brought onto the ship. According to the law, common mistakes passengers make before a cruise. This incident also highlights some of the common mistakes passengers make before boarding a cruise ship. Many travelers assume that cruise vacations are relaxed environments where rules might not be strictly enforced. However, the reality is very different. One of the biggest mistakes is attempting to bring illegal substances onto a cruise ship. Some passengers believe that small amounts will go unnoticed, but modern security systems and detection dogs make it very difficult to hide such items. Another mistake is not checking cruise line rules before packing luggage. Cruise lines have detailed lists of items that passengers are not allowed to bring on board. These rules exist to ensure the safety of everyone on the ship. Passengers sometimes pack restricted items without realizing they are prohibited. In some cases, security officers may simply confiscate the item, but in more serious situations it can lead to questioning or even legal action. How cruise lines handle security incidents. When incidents like this occur, cruise lines and port authorities follow strict procedures. Security officers first investigate the situation and identify the passengers connected to the suspicious luggage. Law enforcement authorities are then called to handle the legal aspects of the case. Because the incident occurred at PortMiami, local law enforcement officers were responsible for handling the arrest and the investigation. Cruise lines work closely with port security and the police to ensure that all laws are followed. Once authorities take control of the situation, the cruise ship itself continues preparing for departure. Other passengers are allowed to continue boarding the vessel, while the legal matter is handled separately by the authorities at the port. For the passengers who were arrested, their cruise vacation ended immediately before they could board Symphony of the Seas. What was meant to be the start of a relaxing holiday instead turned into a serious legal situation at the cruise terminal. So, if you're planning a cruise in 2026, be smart, follow the rules, and don't let one mistake ruin your dream vacation. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out cruise reveals. Stay safe, pack wisely, and enjoy your journey at sea. Thanks for watching Cruise Reveal Jonah, and I'll see you in the next video with more shocking cruise stories.